The world number one just dropped a bombshell at the CJ Cup. Byron Nelson. Scottie Scheffler looked at the renovated TPC Craig Ranch and made a confession that has everyone talking. Then Phil Mickelson's old hot take came back to haunt him in the most embarrassing way possible. And fans are absolutely divided over what Scheffler did after his round. This is the untold story of the CJ Cup reveal that broke the golf world. For more coverage in golf, subscribe and hit the notification bell. The first reveal that had the golf world buzzing came from Scheffler's assessment of the newly renovated TPC Craig Ranch course. After a $25 million overhaul led by 21-time PGA Tour winner Lanny Wadkins, the course has been transformed dramatically. The redesign focused on bent grass greens with more contours, repositioned bunkers, lengthened holes, and completely resurfaced putting surfaces. Scheffler did not hold back in his assessment. Speaking at the press conference ahead of his title defense, he revealed that he had come a few weeks early to test the changes. From the teeing areas to the greens, I think everything has definitely improved compared to before. The course itself seems to have become much more strategic. The greens have added quite a bit of slope, and some greens have quite strong slopes. This is significant because TPC Craig Ranch has historically been a birdie fest. Last year, Scheffler shot 31 under par, tying the lowest 72-hole score in PGA Tour history. The year before, Taylor Pendrith won at 23 under par, Jason Day at 23 under before that. The formula was simple: make birdies in bunches or get left behind. But Scheffler revealed that those days might be over. Scores seem to depend on course setup. If pins are not placed too close to the slopes, scores similar to last year could emerge. But overall, I think the course difficulty has definitely improved. He added that most of the changes are to my liking, which is bad news for the rest of the field. Fans reacted immediately to Scheffler's reveal. Some appreciated the transparency, praising the world number one for his honest assessment. Others worried that making the course harder would punish aggressive play and lead to boring golf. A few simply marveled that Scheffler, who already dominates every course he plays, is now getting a layout tailored to his precision-based game. The redesign specifically targets the kind of low scoring that Scheffler exploited last year. New bunkers punish wayward drives, resurfaced greens offer stronger hole locations, added length changes approach angles. The course that once rewarded bombs now demands strategic thinking. In Scheffler, the most strategic player in golf, couldn't be happier. But the course reveal was just the beginning. The real explosion came when fans remembered Phil Mickelson's now infamous prediction about the world number one. The second reveal that sent shockwaves through social media had nothing to do with the course and everything to do with Phil Mickelson's massive miscalculation. Before the 2025 CJ Cup, Mickelson had posted what he called a hot take on social media. He wrote, "Here's a hot take. Does Scottie win in 2025 before the Ryder Cup? I don't think so." At the time, Mickelson was promoting LIV golf events and suggesting that Joaquin Niemann was actually the best player in the world. The prediction seemed bold, but not impossible. After all, Scheffler had gone through a period without wins. But then, the CJ Cup happened. Scheffler did more than just win. He demolished the field. 8 shots, wire to wire, 31 under par, tying the lowest 72-hole score in PGA Tour history. In the final round, he shot a 63, while everyone else was fighting for second place. The victory was so emphatic, so dominant, so complete that it left no room for debate. And then came the awkward backtrack. Mickelson, who had been so confident in his prediction, was forced to eat his words publicly. On X, formerly Twitter, Mickelson replied to a post from former Masters champion Trevor Immelman, who had jokingly said he would keep the receipt on Mickelson's prediction. Mickelson wrote, "So I might have been off on that one," followed by 2 laughing emojis. He added, "Congrats to Scottie on a great performance," but the damage was done. Fans screenshotted the original prediction. They memed the backtrack. They turned Mickelson's confident hot take into a cautionary tale about doubting the world number one. The fan reaction was merciless. Some celebrated Scheffler's victory as proof that he remains untouchable. Others laughed at Mickelson's embarrassment, noting that the 54-year-old LIV star should know better than to doubt a player of Scheffler's caliber. A few pointed out the irony. Mickelson, who once claimed he was the only one brave enough to take on the PGA Tour, had been humbled by the very player he dismissed. The reveal that Mickelson had been spectacularly wrong and that he had to publicly admit it became one of the biggest stories of the tournament. It was not just about Scheffler's win, it was about the changing of the guard. The old guard, represented by Mickelson, had doubted the new king, and the new king had responded with the most dominant performance of his career. But Scheffler was not done making reveals. He had more to say about his own game, and what he admitted next surprised everyone.
The third reveal came from Scheffler himself, and it was about his biggest weakness. Coming off a T14 finish at the PGA Championship at Arnhem, Scheffler had struggled mightily on the greens. He missed a 4-foot birdie putt early and 2 par putts that were even shorter on the back nine. The putting, which had been his Achilles heel throughout his career, had cost him a chance at contention. But instead of hiding from the issue, Scheffler revealed exactly what went wrong and how he plans to fix it. "Overall, I feel like I'm in a good spot," he said. "I've actually putted the best that I have in my career so far this year, and just kind of get a reset, get on some new greens, work on my reads, make sure I'm checking all my fundamentals." The key, Scheffler revealed, was a conversation with his putting coach, Phil Kenyon. He explained that he had been reminded of a similar situation at the 2025 British Open, where his putting had abandoned him at the Scottish Open before he bounced back to win the major. "Our discussion was basically like, I just want to make sure I'm starting the ball on line, and I want to make sure I'm lined up where I think I'm lined up," Scheffler said. "That's what I did, and I went on to have a great putting week in a great tournament." The reveal was both honest and strategic. Scheffler was admitting his weakness publicly, but he was also showing that he had a plan to fix it. The renovated greens at TPC Craig Ranch, with their added slopes and contours, would be the perfect testing ground. If he could putt well on these surfaces, he could putt well anywhere. Fans reacted to this reveal with a mixture of admiration and skepticism. Some praised Scheffler for his transparency, noting that most athletes would never admit to struggling with a fundamental part of their game. Others wondered if the putting issues were a sign of decline, a crack in the armor of the world number one. The statistical context is important. Scheffler leads the PGA Tour in strokes gained total, birdie average, and consecutive cuts made. He is having a better season than 99% of players on the planet, but the putting has been inconsistent, and at the highest level, inconsistency on the greens is fatal. The reveal that Scheffler is working with Kenyon, that he is focusing on alignment and starting the ball on line, suggests that he knows exactly what needs to be fixed. And if history is any guide, when Scheffler identifies a problem, he solves it. The British Open turnaround is proof. But the most controversial reveal of the week had nothing to do with course changes or putting struggles. It had to do with what Scheffler did after his round, and fans are still arguing about it. The fourth reveal that divided the golf world happened after Scheffler finished his third round. As darkness fell over TPC Craig Ranch, Scheffler did something unexpected. He stayed. He signed autographs for every fan waiting, in the dark. The PGA Tour posted a video of the moment on social media with the caption, "After finishing the third round, Scottie signed autographs in the dark for every fan waiting." The video showed Scheffler patiently working his way down the line, pen in hand, as the light faded around him. It was a gesture of appreciation that seemed genuine and unscripted, but the fan reaction was anything but unanimous. Some praised Scheffler for his sportsmanship. "Wonderful example for kids and a great ambassador for the game," one fan wrote. "That is how you do it. Without fans, he is nothing," another commented. A third added, "That's why I love watching the PGA Tour. They have a bunch of great dudes that give back to the fans and the game." Others, however, saw the video differently. They pointed to Bryson DeChambeau, who has built a massive following partly through his engagement with fans. "It's because Bryson getting so much hype for autos and being one with the people. Now the PGA wants their players to be more personable, Lau," one fan wrote.
Another said, "Seems like the PGA Tour has learned a few lessons from Bryson." The debate was sharp and immediate. Was Scheffler genuinely connecting with fans, or was the PGA Tour trying to copy the authenticity that has made DeChambeau a social media star? The answer, as with most things, was probably somewhere in between. One fan offered a more nuanced take, defending Scheffler while taking a subtle dig at DeChambeau. "I love how Scottie does this under the radar and doesn't make a big over-the-top social media event out of it to make himself look great, as some other players on other tours who shall remain nameless would," the user wrote. The autograph reveal became a flashpoint in the ongoing debate about authenticity in professional golf. Scheffler, who rarely posts on social media and avoids the spotlight, was being compared to DeChambeau, who has built an empire on content creation. The contrast between the two players and the fan reactions to their different approaches revealed deeper tensions within the sport. Some fans appreciate Scheffler's quiet professionalism. Others prefer DeChambeau's showmanship. Neither approach is wrong, but the debate over which is better reveals how fractured the golf audience has become. And Scheffler, by simply signing autographs in the dark, had accidentally walked into the middle of it. The final reveal of the week came from an unlikely source, Brooks Koepka, the five-time major winner who left the PGA Tour for LIV Golf in 2022, was paired with Scheffler for the first two rounds of the CJ Cup. And what Koepka said about the experience revealed more about the state of golf than any press conference could. "It will be fun, it will be exciting, and I guess a good measuring stick to figure out where I'm at," Koepka said, when asked about playing alongside the world number one. The phrase measuring stick was particularly revealing. Koepka, a player who has won 5 majors and dominated the sport at his peak, was admitting that Scheffler is now the standard by which everyone else must be measured. Koepka elaborated on what makes Scheffler special. "Both of those guys living in Dallas, and obviously Scottie being the best player in the world, you expect a lot of fans and a lot of people out here cheering for him," he said. The admission was striking. Koepka, who has never been shy about his own abilities, was acknowledging that Scheffler has surpassed him. The context makes this reveal even more significant. When Koepka left the PGA Tour for LIV in June 2022, Scheffler had only won 4 times. Now, the 29-year-old from Dallas has 20 wins, including 4 major championships. In just a few years, Scheffler has gone from promising young player to undisputed king, and Koepka, watching from the other side of golf's civil war, can only admire from afar. The fan reaction to Koepka's comments was mixed. Some appreciated the respect between competitors, noting that Koepka's honesty reflected well on both players. Others saw it as further evidence that LIV Golf cannot compete with the PGA Tour's best. A few simply enjoyed the irony. The man who once called the PGA Tour boring was now admitting that its best player is the measuring stick for everyone. Koepka's reveal about Scheffler's dominance, combined with Mickelson's embarrassed backtrack and the course redesign revelations, painted a complete picture of the CJ Cup. Scheffler arrived as the defending champion. He faced a completely different course. He admitted his putting struggles, he signed autographs in the dark, and he let his play do the talking. The world number one did not win the CJ Cup in 2026. The tournament was still ongoing as fans reacted to all of these reveals. But the conversation was no longer about who would lift the trophy. It was about Scottie Scheffler, his dominance, his humility, his authenticity, and his ability to generate reactions, both positive and negative, from a golf world that cannot stop talking about him. The CJ Cup reveal that broke the golf world was not a single moment. It was a collection of moments. The course changes, the Mickelson feud, the putting confession, the autograph debate, the Koepka respect. Taken together, they revealed a player who was not just the best in the world, but the most fascinating, and the golf world, for better or worse, cannot look away. For more coverage in golf, subscribe and hit the notification bell.